What's going on, everybody? Today we're working on a 2004 IS300. We're going to be installing MAXPEEDINGRODS coilovers. This company reached out to me and asked me if I had any vehicles that they had parts for that I could review, and we have this car, and we have they were able to send us coilovers for it, and now we're going to show you guys how to install them on this 04 IS300. While Tony's putting that car up, I'm gonna show you guys what's inside the box. All nicely packaged. 24-way dampening. You adjust them right here.
Cool. I have these set up on my T32 as well.
Yeah.
I didn't install them, but they're still being great on my car. Can't really complain for the money. They're really good coilovers.
So we'll get to showing you guys how it's done on the rear of the car first. So first step obviously is to jack up your car. We jacked it up right from the differential.
Put some stands.
And then put some jack stands on. Then you're gonna take your wheels off.
All right, so now there's two 12s. The bottoms are 17s. And then the top 3 bolts, I believe they're 12s. Let me double check for you. They are 14s. No, dusty, but three 14s. There we go. Make sure you keep your bolts together and nuts so that you don't lose them. Alright, so we can move up to the top. 14. Alright, now that we have all the bolts off, we're going to the high bar so we can push this down so we have enough room to pull out the whole strut assembly.
Alright.
Let me figure out a spot. There. This will probably do. There she goes.
There's one.
So on we measured the stock strut, complete strut, and it measured out to 24 inches. They do compress once the car's sitting. I'm gonna give it like half an inch. So let's say it'll be 23.5. So we're gonna drop it to 21.5, so about 2 inches. So what I did is I measured it from the top hat to the end of it, and I did 21.5 on this one, and I will be doing the same thing to this one. They're fairly loose when you get them brand new.
Yeah.
You able to adjust them. 21.5, about. Yep. So we'll kind of lock it in place. We'll leave it loose because the other side might be a different. It will be facing differently. We measured this one because it's gonna go in the place of this one. So we kind of like lined up the 3 bolts up top, and we kind of gave it the same angle. That way, if we do have to adjust it, it's still loose. But we're able to get it in there. But yeah, this one's ready to go. You're gonna have to adjust the locker, so you can move this around, which we left it loose, and you'll get it kind of where it needs to be. That way you can move it. And then we'll probably bring down that jack, leave the car on the stands, and then put the jack here to raise the car up, or I might be able to do it by hand. But once we get it in there, you'll put the the 19mm bolt and nut through there and go from there.
There it goes. Here you go. Now, okay.
You had 2 extra 10s that held the shirt in there. You're not gonna use them no more, as these coilovers don't have that.
Yeah,
So
those
weight
side bolts.
reduction. So for the other side, you're gonna pretty much do the same removal and install. Just keep in mind to measure it and like get the height adjustment before you put this one on. That way you get both of them in the same height.
I got both wheels back on. We're gonna drop the car and see where we're at right now. Check it out. It actually looks pretty good. It looks like the other one.
Yeah.
I mean, it might sit down a little bit more once you start moving.
Yeah, it was about 2 inches.
Yeah.
It might go down a bit, but and that was maybe halfway of the coilover itself. You could go a lot lower for you guys that want to go lower.
This looks good. Even if we have to go up a little bit once it settles down, I think this height looks pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. So now we'll go on to the front and show you guys how to do the front ones.
So on these, you have this is the ABS sensor. You're gonna have a 10 here. These bottom ones are R17. You're gonna have to loosen up your spindle or this ball joint, top ball joint.
For the upper controller.
For the upper. And then let me pop the hood and show you guys the 3 bolts up top. So you're gonna have to move your igniter out of the way, but you have 3. I have a ground here, but that will come off too. But it's those 3. You have this guy. You'll pretty much take off the bracket that is holding it. It'll pop out, and same thing, 3 bolts. Pretty accessible. So leave it somewhat loose.
Yeah.
You could use a separator to pop this budgeon off. I like just hammering this and it'll pop off. You'll see. So you don't want to hit the upper control arm, you want to hit this part right here. There it is. See a separator? There it is.
Now that the control arm off, the spindle kind of hang down.
You have tension here on the ABS.
You gotta take off that 10.
10. There it is. You still have some tension, but it's not too terrible.
Yeah.
And then we need to pick this up so we can take out the stud. There we go.
Easy peasy.
Then we go to the top. So once we have this.
It just fell down. There it is. There's that one.
Now we'll go do the same thing like we did the rear. We'll take it out there, measure it. Take out like 1/2 inch for the flex that these have when you put them on. And then do 2 inches as well.
Alright.
Alright, so we measured the stock strut. We got about almost 22 inches. I want to say it's like 21.5. So let's say they're 20. We're gonna drop about 1.5 inches. So it's 21.5. Probably do like 19 or so. I think that's what we did, or 19.5. We got pretty close already here. So we did 19.5. Same thing with the other side, 19.5. And we'll try that on and see how it looks. We're gonna have to line this up, raise it up, put the bolt through like we did in the back. That's probably one of the hardest part on this. You know, despite it's easy still.
Yeah. Let me get down here again.
So yeah. Here's the bolt. I'll raise it up and then hopefully we could do it the same way. We might get lucky. Not have to use a jack.
It's a lot heavier.
Nope.
No, I'm gonna need a jack.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Your controller, man.
Might as well. Little.
So now with these coilovers, there's nowhere to put the ABS sensor. It doesn't have a spot for the ABS sensor, so we're gonna zip tie it to the coil. Now we got both sides done. We're gonna get the car off the jack stands and see how much of a drop it did. Probably we're gonna go take it for a drive too still and see
Definitely similar.
see how much it settles. The back is quite a bit lower though. So any time you're doing coilovers, don't expect it to just come out perfect on the first try. You're gonna have to put it on the first time, hope that it's close, and then take it back apart, adjust as needed, do it again. You might not get it on the second try either. And you just keep going until you get it at the right height that you like or that you need, so that you're not rubbing or anything.
It gives you an idea where it sits at, and you know if you need to go up an inch or two, or vice versa.
Yeah.
All
right, so now we ended up raising the rear a little bit because we thought it was gonna be too low. After
half an inch.
Yeah, we went up like 1/2 inch, and now we got to go for a test drive and see how it feels and how it looks after it's settled down. Yeah, so we'll go do that now. Honestly, I think it came out looking pretty good. This is like not too low, not too high. I mean, some of you guys might like it slammed, and on the front you can't really go that much lower. You could probably go like like a 1/4 inch lower on the front. The rear could go quite a bit lower still. The rear could probably go like tucking the wheel, but we don't want that.
Like the front, you might be able to go lower. You just gotta put more tension on the spring so you have more room.
Oh yeah, yeah. If
So you might be able to get half an inch, maybe an inch more
on the front,
on the front.
if you change the preload, if you
Yep.
compress the spring a little more. But this is actually pretty good. This right height looks good. Now we're gonna go on a drive and see how it feels, and yeah, see how it settles down once it's been driven a little bit. So we'll go for a test drive, and we're gonna bring you guys along and let you know how it feels on the ride too. Because I mean, I know it's only $300 what these coilovers cost, but I mean, still want to know that they ride good or decently good. Got to give it a few bounces.
Yeah.
On the ones that we do at the shop. After the first drive, it sounds all clunky as fuck. Yeah. And then after going over a few bumps, it goes away.
Ride's not bad so far.
Yeah, I mean, it rides decently smooth.
Yeah. We haven't adjusted the stiffness either, so.
Yeah, so it's whatever it was at when they shipped it, that's.
So it might be soft.
Yeah. It feels a lot better now.
Yeah.
It's not. It doesn't feel like it's a boat and shit.
Yeah. The more you drive, the better they're
Getting it.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel nearly as bad as when we first took off. No, when we first took off, it did feel like it was floating. Now it's starting to settle in.
Honestly, ride quality, they're not stiff.
Yeah, they're not
Pretty,
stiff.
they're decently soft, but not as soft as stock.
Yeah.
Which is good for this sedan. It's usually people want a more of a daily driver.
Yeah, more of a daily. Yeah, check out the height now.
A little bit. Oh no, this side was a little higher before.
Yeah.
I think it settled pretty decently.
Yeah.
About they're 17,
Yeah.
so they're not 18. If you go 18, it'll probably look lower.
So, there it is. That looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Oops.
Don't mind my bacon front fenders.
Oh, I know.
That might make a difference as well.
The previous owner put fender flares, and
Yep.
I don't know what was going on when they probably just grabbed some pliers and tried to bend the fenders up. Yeah, the height's pretty good.
Yep.
They feel pretty good. But overall, the ride quality is pretty good. If you use our coupon code that's fixitish, you get a discount on buying these coilovers for your IS.
That link on
Yeah, and I'll put that link in the description for anybody that watches this video and wants to get coilovers for their IS. 2001 to 2005 is going to be the same process for these coilovers. this Z32 has the same, well, not the same, but it has max speeding rod coilovers too, and these ride pretty good. So we already kind of knew that they rode good, but I mean, why not do it on the other car too? So if you're watching this, max speeding rods, I need coilovers for my Z32. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Hopefully this helps anybody that's doing these coilovers and thinking about buying max speeding rods coilovers for your IS.